The smell of roasted lamb hit me the second I walked through the door. Not the good kind of hit, the kind that makes you think someone's trying too hard. My son Patrick stood in the hallway with his arms crossed, wearing a sweater that probably cost more than my monthly electric bill. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "Dad, you made it." Like I had a choice. Like he hadn't called 3 times yesterday to confirm. Like his wife Jennifer hadn't sent a text this morning with the exact arrival time underlined. "Traffic was fine," I said, stepping past him. My wife Ellen squeezed my hand once, quick, then let go. She knew what I was thinking. She always did. The house looked different than last time. New furniture, cream-colored couch that screamed, "Don't sit on me," abstract art on the walls that looked like someone had sneezed paint onto canvas. Everything positioned just so, everything expensive, everything designed to remind you whose house this was. Grandpa. My grandson Jamie came running down the hallway, 11 years old and still willing to hug me in public. That was something. I caught him, lifted him half an inch off the ground, set him back down. "Getting heavy," I said. "I'm almost as tall as Mom now." "That's not hard." Jennifer appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel that looked too clean to have actually touched anything. She smiled at us, the kind of smile you give to guests you're already counting down the minutes until they leave. "Ellen, Frank, Happy New Year's Eve." She kissed the air near Ellen's cheek, extended her hand to me like we were at a business meeting. I shook it. Her grip was firm, practiced. Come in. Dinner's almost ready." We followed her into the living room. More cream furniture. A gas fireplace that gave off heat but no soul. Through the windows I could see their backyard. Professionally landscaped, probably professionally maintained, nothing out of place. Even the snow looked arranged. Patrick gestured to the couch. Sit. Can I get you something to drink?" "Water's fine," I said. "Water." He said it like I'd asked for motor oil. "Come on, Dad, it's New Year's Eve. Live a little." "Water's fine." He looked at Ellen. She smiled, small and polite. "Water for me too, Patrick. Thank you." I watched him walk to the kitchen, watched the way his shoulders sat just a little too high, the way his jaw was tight even when he was smiling. My son had been wound up about something for weeks now. I'd noticed it at Thanksgiving, noticed it again at Jamie's birthday dinner 2 weeks ago, the way he kept checking his phone, the way conversations would stop when I walked into the room. Ellen sat next to me, close enough that our knees touched. Jamie sprawled on the floor near the TV, playing some game on his tablet. Jennifer stood in the doorway between the living room and kitchen, watching us like a hostess checking if her party was going according to plan. "So," she said, too bright, too sharp. "How have you two been? Frank, how's retirement treating you?" "Fine." "Must be nice. All that free time?" "It's fine." Patrick's been so busy with work. They're expanding his department. More responsibility. More hours, of course, but that's the price of success. She smiled. "I keep telling him he needs to slow down, but you know Patrick, always pushing himself." I nodded. Didn't mention that Patrick had worked for the same company doing the same job for 7 years. Didn't mention that the last time we talked about his work, he'd spent 20 minutes complaining about his boss passing him over for a promotion. Again. Patrick came back with 2 glasses of water, set them on the coffee table without coasters. Jennifer swooped in immediately with coasters, sliding them under the glasses with a tight smile. "Dinner in 10 minutes, she said. "Patrick, can you help me with the wine?" "I've got it." "Patrick." He followed her into the kitchen. Their voices dropped to whispers. I couldn't hear the words, but I heard the tone. Sharp on her end, defensive on his, then silence, then the sound of cabinet doors opening and closing. "This is nice," Ellen said quietly. "Just to me?" "Sure." "They went to a lot of trouble." "Sure they did." She looked at me, dark eyes that had been reading me for 42 years. "Be nice." "I'm being nice?" "Be nicer." Jamie looked up from his tablet. "Grandpa, do you want to see my new game? It's about building cities. You can make roads and everything." "After dinner, kid." "Promise?" "Promise." He went back to his tablet. I watched him for a minute. Good kid. Smart kid. Didn't deserve whatever was happening in this house. Because something was happening. You don't raise a child for 36 years without learning to read the weather. The dining room table was set like something out of a magazine. White tablecloth, silver candlesticks, plates that matched, wine glasses that probably cost more than my first car. Everything symmetrical. Everything perfect. Everything designed to impress. We sat. Patrick at the head of the table, Jennifer at the foot, Ellen and I on one side, Jamie on the other. like we were being interviewed, like this was a test we didn't know we were taking. Jennifer brought out the food: roasted lamb with rosemary, roasted potatoes with garlic, green beans that looked like they'd been arranged by hand, a salad with nuts and dried fruit and cheese I couldn't pronounce. She set everything down with the careful precision of someone who'd planned this meal down to the minute. "This looks wonderful," Ellen said. "Thank you. I've been cooking all day." Jennifer smiled. "It's important to make an effort for family, don't you think?" We started eating. The lamb was good. Too good. The kind of good that made you suspicious, like she'd been taking classes or watching videos or trying to prove something. "So," Patrick said, cutting his meat with surgical precision, "we wanted to talk to you both about something." Here it was: the reason for the dinner, the reason for the phone calls and the confirmed arrival time and the fancy meal. I set down my fork. "We've been thinking," Jennifer said, picking up where Patrick left off like they'd rehearsed this, "about the future, about family, about what's best for everyone." Ellen's knee pressed against mine under the table. Warning or comfort, I couldn't tell. "Jamie's getting older," Patrick continued. "He needs stability, structure, a good environment." I looked at Jamie. He was pushing green beans around his plate, not looking at anyone. "And we've noticed," Jennifer said, her voice going soft, concerned, theatrical, "that you've both been struggling a bit. Since Frank retired, the house is getting older, maintenance is expensive, and at your age—" "Our age," I said, "is 63 and 61. "Of course, I didn't mean it like that." She smiled, apologetic, false. "I just meant that things get harder as we get older. That's natural. That's normal." Patrick leaned forward. "We want to help, Dad. That's all. We want to make sure you're both taken care of." "We're fine." "Are you, though?" Jennifer again. Tag teaming. "Because Patrick mentioned that you've been having trouble with the furnace, and the roof needs work, and we're handling it." "Of course you are. But maybe you don't have to handle it alone." She glanced at Patrick. He nodded. "We've been talking about options, ways we could all help each other." Ellen's hand found mine under the table. Squeezed once. I squeezed back. "What kind of options?" Ellen asked. Her voice was steady, casual, but I heard the edge underneath. "Well," Patrick said, setting down his knife and fork, folding his hands like he was chairing a meeting, "there are a few things we could explore. Property management, financial assistance, maybe even—" His phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His face changed. Just for a second. Just enough. "I need to take this," he said, standing. "Work thing. I'm sorry, 5 minutes." He walked out of the dining room. I heard him go down the hallway, heard a door close. His office, probably. The room at the back of the house where he disappeared to every time we visited. Jennifer kept smiling, kept eating, kept pretending this was all normal. "The lamb is really excellent," Ellen said. "Thank you. It's a new recipe. You'll have to share it." "Of course." I watched Jamie. He was watching the hallway where his father had disappeared. His face was tight, worried, the way kids look when they know something's wrong but don't have the words for it. "Jamie," I said, "how's school?" He looked at me, forced a smile. "Good. We're doing a project on the solar system." "Yeah? Which planet's your favorite?" "Saturn. Because of the rings." "Good choice." The conversation died. Jennifer made small talk about weather and holiday plans and other people's families. Ellen responded with the bare minimum of politeness. I ate my food and watched the hallway and waited. Patrick was gone for more than 5 minutes. More than 10. When he came back, his face was flushed. His jaw was tight. He sat down and picked up his fork like nothing had happened. "Everything okay?" Jennifer asked. Too casual, too knowing. "Fine. Just work." "On New Year's Eve?" "On New Year's Eve." We finished dinner. Jennifer brought out dessert. Some kind of chocolate thing with layers and cream and berries. I ate 2 bites. Ellen ate 3. Patrick didn't touch his. He kept checking his phone under the table. Thought I couldn't see. But I could see. I could always see. By 8 o'clock I wanted to leave. By 8:30 I was looking for excuses. By 9 I was about to invent an emergency when Patrick stood up. "Another call," he said. "I'm sorry. This project is—" He didn't finish, just walked away. Same hallway, same office, same closed door. Jamie stood up. "Can I use the bathroom?" "Of course, sweetie," Jennifer said. He walked down the hallway, in the direction of Patrick's office. I watched him go. Watched Jennifer watch him go. Her face was neutral, pleasant, practiced. More coffee? She asked Ellen. No, thank you, I'm fine. Frank? I'm good. She nodded, started clearing plates. The TV in the living room was playing the New Year's Eve countdown show from Times Square. Crowds of people squeezed together, waiting for midnight, waiting for something to change, like a date on a calendar meant anything at all. Then Jamie came running back down the hallway, fast. Too fast. His face was white. His hands were shaking. Grandpa. His voice cracked. Grandpa, we need to leave. I stood up. What's wrong? We need to leave right now. He looked at Ellen. Grandma, please, we have to go. Jamie? Jennifer started. No. He backed away from her. No. Grandpa. I heard Dad. I heard him talking about you. He said... He looked at the hallway, at his mother, back at me. He said tonight fixes everything. He said your name. He said... That's enough. Jennifer's voice was steel. Jamie, you're being dramatic. Go to your room. Jamie, I said. What exactly did you hear? Go to your room, Jamie. Jennifer moved toward him. He moved toward me. Now. He said you were the problem, Jamie said, the words tumbling out fast and desperate. He said after tonight you wouldn't be able to. Jamie. Patrick was in the hallway, face red, voice sharp. Room. Now. Jamie looked at me. Scared. Really scared. I put my hand on his shoulder. Ellen, I said quietly, get our coats. She was already moving, already ahead of me, like always. She grabbed our coats from the front closet, her purse, my keys. Frank. Patrick's voice was different now, calmer, controlled, dangerous. You're not leaving. Yes, we are. No, you're not. He smiled, thin, cold. You haven't even heard what I have to say. Don't need to hear it. I think you do. I think you really, really do. I moved toward the door. Ellen was there. Jamie was behind me. Patrick stepped into my path. Move, I said. Or what, Dad? You going to hit me? That would be perfect, actually. That would be exactly perfect. The TV was loud. Crowd noise, music, a countdown getting closer. 11:45. 15 minutes until midnight. 15 minutes until whatever Patrick had planned. I looked at Ellen. She nodded once. I took Jamie's hand. We're walking out that door, I said to Patrick. You can step aside or I can move you. Your choice. For a second I thought he'd do it. Thought he'd actually make me put hands on him. Then Jennifer touched his arm. Let them go, she said softly. It doesn't matter now. That's when I knew, when I was sure. This wasn't just family drama. This wasn't just disrespect or money problems or whatever I'd been telling myself. This was planned. This was coordinated. This was something that started before tonight. Patrick stepped aside. I walked past him, Ellen beside me, Jamie between us. We went through the door, into the cold, into the dark. I heard Jennifer's voice behind us, calm and clear. You should have stayed. We got into the car. I started the engine, pulled out of the driveway, made it to the end of the street. That's when I saw the lights, red and blue, flashing, coming from the other direction, 2 police cars, turning onto Patrick's street, heading toward his house. Ellen saw them too. Frank, I know. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I didn't answer. It buzzed again. Text message this time. I pulled over, looked at the screen. You should have stayed. Same words, same message, different sender. I looked in the rearview mirror. The police cars had stopped in front of Patrick's house. Officers were getting out. Jamie was crying quietly in the back seat. Ellen's hand was on my arm. And I understood, finally and completely, and that my son had tried to set me up for something, that this dinner wasn't about reconciliation or help or family, that the phone calls, the staged conversations, the careful timing, all of it was leading to this moment, to those police cars, to whatever story Patrick was about to tell. I looked at Ellen. We need to move, she said. I put the car in drive. I drove. Didn't have a destination, just drove. Through neighborhoods I didn't recognize, past houses with lit windows and families that probably weren't trying to destroy each other. The clock on the dashboard said 11:53, 7 minutes until midnight, 7 minutes until people started pretending next year would be different. Jamie had stopped crying, but his breathing was still wrong, fast and shallow. Ellen had turned around in her seat, had her hand on his knee. It's okay, she kept saying. We're okay. But we weren't okay. We were driving away from something I didn't understand with police cars behind us and my son's words ringing in my head. Tonight fixes everything. Your name, the problem. I pulled into a parking lot. Empty strip mall. Closed shops. One streetlight flickering at the far end. Shut off the engine. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. What just happened? Ellen's voice was quiet, steady. She was scared, but she was thinking. Always thinking. I don't know. Yes, you do. I looked at her. No, I don't. Not completely. Then tell me what you do know. I rubbed my face, tried to organize the thoughts that were slamming around in my head like loose tools in a truck bed. He planned this. The dinner, the timing. Jennifer was in on it. They were working together. To do what? I don't know. Frank, I don't know. The words came out louder than I meant. Jamie flinched. I took a breath, lowered my voice. I don't know what they were planning, but it involved police, and it involved making me look like something, like I'd done something. Ellen was quiet for a moment. Then, the conversation at dinner, about the house, about money, about your age. What about it? They were building a narrative, making you look unstable, incapable, old. I am old. You're 63. You fixed the deck yourself last summer. You help our neighbors with their yard work. You're not incapable. Then why were they... I stopped, saw it. Witnesses? What? If they're building a story about me, they need witnesses. People who can say they saw me struggling, saw me losing it, saw me. I looked back at Patrick's house, even though we were miles away now. Whatever they told those cops, they needed backup. They needed people who would believe it. That's insane. Is it? She didn't answer. Because it wasn't insane. It was calculated. It was the kind of thing people did when they wanted something and didn't care who they had to destroy to get it. My phone rang. Unknown number again. I didn't answer. It went to voicemail. 10 seconds later, another text. This isn't going away, Frank. You made it worse by running. I showed Ellen. She read it twice. Then she took my phone and turned it off completely. We need a plan, she said. We need to know what they're claiming I did. How do we find that out? I thought about it. Thought about the police cars, the timing, the way Patrick had smiled when he said I wouldn't be able to... Wouldn't be able to what? Leave? Talk? Defend myself? Jamie, I said, turning around. I need you to tell me exactly what you heard. Everything, even if you don't think it matters. He looked up. His face was red and blotchy. Kid's face, scared and trying to be brave. I didn't mean to listen. I know. You're not in trouble. But I need to know what your dad said. He wiped his nose on his sleeve. Ellen handed him a tissue from her purse. He took it, didn't use it, just held it. I went to use the bathroom, he said. But I heard Dad on the phone in his office. The door was open a little bit. He was talking loud, angry loud. What did he say? He said your name, Frank. He said, Frank is the problem. Frank is why this isn't working. And then he said something about tonight. About how tonight fixes everything. About how after tonight you wouldn't be able to... He stopped, shook his head. Wouldn't be able to what, Jamie? Interfere. He said you wouldn't be able to interfere anymore. The word hung in the car like smoke. Interfere with what? I didn't interfere with anything. I saw them twice a month. I helped Jamie with his homework sometimes. I fixed their faucet last spring because Patrick couldn't be bothered to learn how. That was it. That was my entire involvement in their lives. Unless interfering meant something else. Unless it meant existing. Unless it meant having opinions or assets or... The house, Ellen said. I looked at her. Our house, she continued. We own it outright. No mortgage. It's worth what, $400,000 now? Maybe more with the market. So if something happened to you, if you were deemed unstable or dangerous or incapable, who would make decisions about your care, your property? You would. Would I? Or would Patrick, as next of kin, have grounds to petition for guardianship, especially if I was also deemed unable to handle things? I stared at her. They wouldn't they? Frank, think about it. Think about the dinner, the comments about the house maintenance, the questions about money. They were setting up a narrative, making us look incompetent. That's not enough for guardianship. No, but combine it with an incident, something tonight, something that makes you look violent or unstable or dangerous, something that gets you arrested or committed or... She stopped, took a breath. They need a crisis. They need you to do something that justifies intervention. My phone was off, but I could still feel it in my pocket, still feel the weight of those messages. You should have stayed. This isn't going away. What if we go to the police ourselves? Jamie asked. Tell them what really happened? Tell them what? I said. That we left a dinner party because we got scared? That we think my son is planning something but we don't know what? That we ran when we saw police cars? They'll believe us. Will they? Ellen said gently. Or will they see an elderly man who fled the scene when officers arrived, who's now making accusations about his own son, who seems paranoid and possibly dangerous? Jamie's face crumpled. So we can't do anything? We can think, I said. We can plan. We can figure out what they're actually trying to do and how to stop it. How? Good question. How do you fight something you can't see? How do you defend against accusations that haven't been made yet? How do you prove you're sane when the act of defending yourself makes you look crazy? The clock on the dashboard turned over. 11:59. 1 minute until midnight. We need to know what Patrick told the police, Ellen said. That's first. We need to know what story he's selling. And how do we get that? She was quiet for a moment. Then, we ask someone who would know. Who? Jennifer. I looked at her like she'd lost her mind. Jennifer is part of this. I know, but she's also the weak link. How do you figure? Because Patrick is a planner. He's careful. He thinks 10 steps ahead. But Jennifer? Ellen paused. Jennifer likes to win. She likes to be seen winning. She likes to tell people about her victories. So? So we give her an audience. We make her think she's won. We let her gloat. Ellen pulled out her own phone, started scrolling through contacts. And she'll tell us everything. Ellen, trust me. I wanted to argue. Wanted to tell her this was dangerous. That we should hide. That we should find a lawyer or leave town or do literally anything except engage with the people who were trying to destroy us. But Ellen's face was set, determined. The same face she'd had 42 years ago when she'd told her parents she was marrying me whether they liked it or not. I trusted that face. The dashboard clock turned over again. Midnight, New Year, fireworks somewhere in the distance, people cheering, people kissing, people pretending. Ellen put the phone to her ear, waited. Then, Jennifer, it's Ellen. We need to talk. I couldn't hear Jennifer's response, but I could imagine it. Smug, satisfied, dangerous. Not now, Ellen said. Tomorrow. Lunch. Just you and me. Pause. Because I think we both know that this situation needs to be resolved, and I think you're the only one who can help me understand what Patrick wants. Longer pause. Good. Noon. The cafe on Riverside. See you there. She hung up, looked at me. Done. What did she say? She'll be there. She wants to explain. She wants to make me see reason. Ellen smiled, thin and cold. She wants to win. Jamie was watching us both like we'd started speaking another language. What are we doing? We're fighting back, Ellen said. We're just doing it smart. I wanted to believe her. Wanted to believe that we could outthink them, outmaneuver them, turn their own plan against them. But I'd seen Patrick's face tonight. I'd heard his voice. This wasn't a game to him. This was something else. Something desperate. Where do we go tonight? I asked. Not home, Ellen said immediately. If they reported something to the police, they'll check there. Hotel? Credit card trail. They'll know where we are. Then where? Ellen thought for a moment. Then she pulled out her phone again. Made another call. Beth? It's Ellen. I know it's late, I know, but I need a favor. Can we stay at your place tonight? Just for one night. I'll explain tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. She hung up. Beth's house. My sister. Patrick doesn't know her address. Won't he just ask you? He won't get the chance. I'm turning off my phone, too. She powered it down, slipped it into her purse, looked at me. Drive. I drove. Out of the parking lot. Through empty streets, following Ellen's directions to her sister's house 20 minutes away. A small ranch house with a lit porch and a car in the driveway and a life that wasn't falling apart. Beth met us at the door. Mid-50s, gray hair, concerned face. She hugged Ellen first, then me, then knelt down to Jamie. Hi, sweetheart. You okay? Jamie nodded, didn't speak. Come on, I've got the guest room made up. And there's hot chocolate if you want it. We went inside. Beth didn't ask questions. Just showed us where things were, gave us towels, told us to make ourselves at home. Then she went to her own room and closed the door, giving us space, giving us time. Jamie fell asleep on the couch within 10 minutes, exhausted from fear and adrenaline and whatever else tonight had dumped on him. Ellen covered him with a blanket, smoothed his hair back from his forehead. He's okay, I said. Is he? He will be. She sat next to me. Close. The way she'd sat on our first date in a movie theater, watching something I couldn't remember now. I put my arm around her. She leaned into me. What are we going to do, Frank? We're going to figure this out. And if we can't, we will. How do you know? I didn't know. I didn't know anything except that my son had tried to do something terrible to me tonight, and I wasn't going to let him get away with it. I wasn't going to roll over. I wasn't going to play the part they'd written for me, confused, elderly, incompetent, dangerous. I was 63 years old. I'd worked construction for 20 years, city maintenance for 15, raised a child, kept a marriage together, paid my bills, helped my neighbors, done everything right. And now my own son was trying to take it all away. Not going to happen. We're going to win, I said. I don't know how yet, but we're going to win. Ellen pulled back enough to look at me, searched my face. Then she nodded. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow we meet Jennifer. We find out what the plan is. Then we destroy it. Then we destroy it, I repeated. She kissed me, quick and firm. Then she stood up. Try to sleep. Tomorrow's going to be long. I watched her walk to the guest room, watched the door close, looked at Jamie sleeping on the couch, his face finally peaceful, looked out the window at the dark street, at the houses with their windows dark or lit, at the world that was moving forward like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. My son had declared war, and I was going to end it. Alice lived in a narrow townhouse with too many plants and too many cats. She was 60-something, sharp-eyed, wearing reading glasses on a chain and a sweatshirt that said, "Nevertheless, she persisted." She hugged Ellen, nodded at me, smiled at Jamie. Come in. I made coffee, and I've got cookies for the young man." We followed her into a living room that was mostly books, legal texts, case studies, stacks of files that looked like they should be in an office somewhere. Alice cleared space on the couch, gestured for us to sit. "Ellen told me some of it on the phone," she said, settling into an armchair. "But I need the full story. Everything. Start at the beginning?" So I did. The dinner, the grandson, the police, the flight, the texts, Jennifer's confession over lunch, everything I knew and everything I suspected. Alice listened without interrupting, made notes on a legal pad, asked clarifying questions. When I finished, she sat back and looked at her notes. "Okay," she said. "First, the good news. This isn't a slam dunk for them. Emergency guardianship is hard to get. They need to prove immediate danger, imminent threat, the fact that you left voluntarily, that you took Jamie with you with his consent, that there was no actual violence, that all works in your favor. And the bad news? The bad news is they've been building a case. The house maintenance, the witnesses at dinner, the police report. That's not nothing. And Robert Hendricks is involved, which means they're serious. He doesn't take cases he thinks he'll lose. So what do? We attack their credibility. We show that this isn't about concern for your welfare. It's about control. It's about money. It's about Patrick's career advancement." She tapped her pen on the legal pad. "And we do that by gathering evidence that contradicts every single claim they've made." "How?" She stood up, walked to one of the bookcases, pulled out a folder. "I've dealt with Hendricks before, 3 times. Oh, he's predictable. He uses the same playbook every time." She opened the folder. "He starts with isolation, makes the elderly person seem alone, no support system, no one to vouch for them. We have friends, neighbors. Good. Get written statements from all of them, dated, signed, stating that you're competent, independent, capable. Okay. Then he attacks their living situation, makes it seem unsafe, unclean, dangerous. Our house is fine. Then prove it. Photos, videos, dated, time-stamped. Show that everything works, that it's maintained, that you're not living in squalor. Done. Then he goes after mental competency, claims confusion, memory loss, erratic behavior. How do we fight that? Medical records. Get to your doctor, get a full evaluation, cognitive test, mental health screening, physical examination, get everything documented that you're healthy, alert, and competent. I looked at Ellen. She nodded. "We can do that," she said. "Good. Because you have 3 days. The hearing is scheduled for Thursday morning, 10 a.m., County Courthouse." "How do you know that?" Alice smiled. "I made some calls. I still have friends in the system." "Can you be there at the hearing?" "I can advise. I can help you prepare. But you need a lawyer. A real one. Someone who specializes in this." "Who?" "I know someone. David Park. He's aggressive, he's expensive, and he hates Hendricks." "Perfect. I'll call him. Set up a meeting for tonight." She pulled out her phone, made the call. 3 minutes later, it was done. 6 p.m., his office downtown. He'll see you. Thank you, Ellen said. Don't thank me yet. We've got a lot of work to do. Alice stood up. First priority is medical evaluation. I'm calling your doctor right now. We're getting you in today. Today? Today. This can't wait. She made another call. Apparently everyone owed Alice favors. 10 minutes later, I had an appointment for 3 p.m. Ellen, you too, Alice said. If they're claiming both of you are incompetent, we need proof that you're both fine. I don't need a doctor to tell me I'm fine. The court does. Ellen sighed, nodded. Fine. Alice made another call. Got Ellen an appointment for 4 p.m. While you're doing that, Alice said, I'm going to start gathering statements from your neighbors. Frank, give me their names and addresses. I did. She wrote them down, made more calls. Within an hour, she'd contacted 6 neighbors, scheduled visits, arranged for written statements. What about Jamie? Ellen asked. Patrick's claiming Frank took him against his will. We need his statement, too. Alice looked at Jamie. Can you write down what happened last night, in your own words? Exactly what you saw and heard? Jamie nodded. Yes, ma'am. Good boy. Use this. She handed him the legal pad and a pen. Be specific. Be honest. Write exactly what your father said and what you saw. Jamie started writing. His handwriting was careful, precise, the handwriting of a kid who'd been taught that words mattered. Alice's phone rang. She answered, listened. Her face changed. When? How did they? Okay. Yes, I understand. Thank you. She hung up, looked at us. What? I asked. Hendricks filed a motion. They're trying to move the hearing up, claiming urgent circumstances. Can they do that? They can try, but it won't work. The judge won't accelerate without evidence of immediate danger. And since you haven't done anything dangerous, they don't have grounds. Are you sure? I'm sure. But Frank, you need to understand something. They're pushing hard. They're aggressive. They want this done before you can mount a defense. Why? Because they know their case is thin. They know that if you have time to prepare, time to gather evidence, you'll win, so they're trying to rush it. What do? We stick to the plan. We gather evidence. We build our case. We don't give them anything else to use against us. She looked at me hard. That means no confrontation, no contact with Patrick or Jennifer, no angry phone calls or texts, no showing up at their house, nothing that makes you look unstable or aggressive. I'm not planning to confront them. Good, because that's exactly what they want. They want you to lose your temper, to threaten them, to give them more evidence. I understand. Do you? Because, Frank, I've seen this 100 times. Good people, decent people, who get pushed too far and do something stupid, something that destroys their case and proves their family right. I won't. Promise me. I looked at Ellen. She was watching me, waiting. I promise, I said. Alice nodded. Okay, then let's get to work. The rest of the afternoon was a blur. Alice drove Ellen to her doctor's appointment. I went to mine, sat in an examination room answering questions about my memory and my mood and my ability to perform daily tasks. Did cognitive tests, memory tests, drew a clock, subtracted by sevens, repeated lists of words. The doctor, my doctor, who'd known me for 15 years, looked at the results and shook his head. Frank, you're completely fine. Actually, you're better than fine. Your cognitive function is above average for your age. Can you write that down? I'll do better than that. I'll write a detailed report. Medical opinion stating that you show no signs of dementia, confusion, or mental incompetency. It'll be ready tomorrow morning. Thank you. Who's trying to say you're incompetent? My son. The doctor's face went hard. I see. Well, your son is wrong, and I'll be happy to testify to that if needed. Thank you. I left feeling lighter. One piece of evidence down. More to go. I met Ellen at Beth's house. She'd gotten similar results. Clean bill of health, no signs of incompetency. The doctor had been appalled at the suggestion. 2 down, Ellen said. What's next? Photos of the house. We need to go home. Is that safe? I don't know, but we need those photos, and we need them dated today. We drove to our house, slowly, watching for police cars or Patrick's car or anything unusual. The street was empty, our driveway was empty, everything looked normal. I unlocked the door, we went inside. Everything was exactly as we'd left it. No signs of break-in, no signs of tampering, just our house, old but clean, worn but maintained. I took photos, every room, every system, the furnace that worked fine, The roof that had a few loose shingles but wasn't falling apart. The electrical panel that was old but up to code. The plumbing that didn't leak. Everything that proved we weren't living in neglect. Ellen took video, walked through the house narrating. This is the kitchen. As you can see, it's clean. Appliances work. No safety hazards. This is the bathroom. Updated 3 years ago. Everything functions properly. We spent an hour documenting everything. Then we got back in the car and left. At 6 p.m., we met with David Park. His office was downtown, small, cramped, overflowing with case files. He was mid-40s, Korean-American, wearing a suit that had seen better days. He shook our hands with a grip that was firm and quick. Alice filled me in, he said, gesturing to chairs. Sit, talk, tell me everything. So we did. Again. The whole story. He listened, made notes, asked sharp questions. When we finished, he leaned back in his chair. Okay, here's the situation. They've filed for emergency guardianship. The hearing is Thursday. We have 3 days to prepare. That's not a lot of time, but it's enough. What are our chances? I asked. Honestly, 70-30 in your favor, maybe 80-20 if we do this right. What about the 20%? The 20% is if something goes wrong, if they have evidence we don't know about, if the judge is having a bad day, if you say something stupid on the stand. I won't say something stupid. Everyone says that. Then they get up there and emotions take over and they say exactly the wrong thing. I won't. He studied me. You seem calm. I am calm. Why? Most people in your situation are panicking. Most people in my situation didn't spend 20 years in construction. I've dealt with worse. He smiled. Small, approving. Good. I can work with calm, can't work with panic. What do we need to do? Ellen asked. Everything Alice already set up. Medical evaluations, check. Photo documentation, check. Neighbor statements, in progress. Here's what else we need. He pulled out a list. Financial records. Proof that you're managing your money properly. No missed bills, no overdrafts, no evidence of confusion or poor judgment. Done. I can get those tonight. Good. Character witnesses. People who can testify that you're competent, rational, and not dangerous. Not just neighbors, friends, former coworkers, anyone who knows you well. I can make a list. Do it. I'll contact them, get statements, line them up to testify if needed. He looked at Jamie. And we need his testimony. In writing first. On the stand if it comes to that. He's 11. I know, but he's the best witness we have. He was there. He heard what Patrick said. He can contradict their entire narrative. I don't want to put him through that. I understand. But Frank, this is your life, your autonomy, your future. If we lose, they get control of everything. Your house, your money, your medical decisions, everything. Is it worth protecting Jamie from discomfort if it means losing everything? I looked at Jamie. He looked back, scared but determined. I'll do it, Grandpa, he said. I'll tell them what really happened. You sure, kid? I'm sure. David nodded. Good. Then we're ready. We meet again Wednesday night, final prep, go over testimony, make sure everyone knows what to say and what not to say. What about Patrick? Will he be there? At the hearing? Yes. He's the petitioner. He'll testify. Hendricks will make him look like a concerned son, worried, responsible, just trying to help. Can we cross-examine him? We can, and we will. But Frank, you need to understand something. Your son is going to lie. He's going to make himself look good and you look bad. And you're going to have to sit there and listen to it without reacting. I can do that. Can you? Because I've seen people lose their cases in that moment, when they hear their own family lying about them, when they can't control their anger. I can do it. He studied me again, then nodded. Okay, I believe you. Let's win this thing. We left his office, drove back to Beth's house. It was dark now, late. Beth had dinner waiting, pasta, salad, wine for the adults, milk for Jamie. We ate in silence, too tired to talk, too wired to relax. The clock on the wall ticked toward midnight. Another day gone, another day closer to the hearing. Ellen went to bed early, exhausted. I stayed up with Beth, drinking tea, staring at nothing. You're going to win, Beth said. How do you know? Because you're not fighting for yourself. You're fighting for Ellen, for Jamie, for everything you've built. People don't lose when they're fighting for that. Sometimes they do. Not this time. I wanted to believe her, wanted to trust that truth and evidence and justice would win. But I'd lived long enough to know that wasn't always how it worked. Sometimes the liars won, sometimes the manipulators won, Sometimes good people lost everything because someone else wanted it more. My phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. You can't win, Frank. Stop embarrassing yourself. I deleted it. Blocked the number. Finished my tea. Tomorrow we'd gather the last pieces of evidence. Tomorrow we'd finalize the strategy. Tomorrow we'd prepare for war. But tonight I was just tired. Wednesday morning I woke up angry. The kind of angry that sits in your chest like hot metal. The kind that makes everything sharp and clear. Ellen was already awake, sitting at Beth's kitchen table, making lists. Neighbor statements, she said without looking up. Financial records, medical reports, character witnesses. We have most of it. What are we missing? Proof of what Patrick's actually doing. The promotion, the vetting, the reason behind all of this. We have his LinkedIn, the company website. That's not enough. We need something concrete, something that proves this is about his career, not concern for us. Ellen set down her pen. How do we get that? I don't know yet. Frank, I know. I'm thinking. My phone rang. Alice. I've got statements from 5 neighbors, she said, all of them willing to testify, all of them saying the same thing. You're competent, independent, maintain your property, no signs of confusion or decline. That's good. It's great. I'm bringing them to David's office this morning. He's compiling everything. How are the financial records coming? I'll have them by noon. Good. We need everything to David by tonight. He's preparing exhibits, documents, evidence packets for the judge. We'll get it done. Frank, listen to me. We're in good shape. Really good shape. Don't do anything to mess this up. I won't. Promise me. No contact with Patrick, no confrontation, nothing. I promise. She hung up. I looked at Ellen. I need to go to the bank, I said. Get printed statements, proof of account activity. I'll go with you. No. You stay here with Jamie. Work on the list of character witnesses. I'll be back in an hour. Frank, I'll be fine. I'm just going to the bank. She watched me, didn't believe me, but nodded anyway. 1 hour. 1 hour. I left, got in the car, drove toward the bank. But I didn't go to the bank. Instead, I drove to Patrick's workplace. Baxter Industrial Solutions, corporate office building, a glass and steel, parking lot half full. I sat in the car, watched the entrance, told myself I was just looking, just confirming he was here, just gathering information. At 9:30, Patrick arrived, parked his BMW in a reserved spot, got out wearing a suit that probably cost $2,000. Walked toward the building like he owned it. I watched him disappear inside. Then I waited. At 10:15, a man in his 60s came out. Gray hair, expensive suit, confident walk. He got into a Mercedes with executive parking. I recognized him from the company website, Richard Baxter, CEO. I got out of my car, walked across the parking lot, intercepted him before he reached his car. Mr. Baxter. He turned, looked at me, professional smile. Yes? My name is Frank Hayes. I'm Patrick Hayes' father. The smile changed. Got careful. I see. How can I help you, Mr. Hayes? I need 5 minutes of your time. I'm afraid I have a meeting. 5 minutes, please. It's about Patrick. Something in my voice made him stop, made him look at me differently. Is Patrick all right? That depends on your definition of all right. He studied me, then nodded. 5 minutes. My office. I followed him back into the building, through a lobby that was all marble and modern art, into an elevator, up to the top floor, down a hallway with actual paintings on the walls, into an office that was bigger than my living room. He gestured to a chair. Sit. Talk. I sat, looked him in the eye. Patrick is trying to have me declared incompetent. He's filed for emergency guardianship. The hearing is tomorrow. Baxter's face went blank. I wasn't aware. I know you weren't, because he didn't tell you, because it would look bad. But Mr. Baxter, I need you to know something. I'm not incompetent. I'm not confused. I'm not dangerous. I'm just in his way. In his way of what? The executive position, the promotion, the vetting process that includes family stability. Baxter's expression didn't change, but something shifted behind his eyes. What makes you think? I know about the leadership program, the advancement gala, the family values requirement for executive positions. I know Patrick is being considered, and I know he needs to prove he has his life together, which means proving he's handling his elderly parents responsibly. Mr. Hayes, please, just listen. Patrick is a good employee, maybe even a great one. I don't know. I'm his father, not his boss, but he's not a good son, and he's not a good man. He's willing to destroy me, to take away my autonomy, my home, my life, so he can get promoted. That's who you're considering for executive leadership." Baxter was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Do you have proof of this?" "The guardianship filing is public record. The hearing is tomorrow at 10 a.m., County Courthouse. You can attend if you want. You can see for yourself what kind of person Patrick really is." "I see." "Do you?" "Because, Mr. Baxter, I spent 40 years working. I paid my bills. I raised my son. I did everything right. And now he's trying to take it all away because it's convenient for his career. If that's the kind of leadership this company values, then I've got nothing else to say." I stood up, started to leave. "Mr. Hayes." I turned. "I'll look into this," Baxter said, "and if what you're saying is true, it will be addressed." "Thank you. But Mr. Hayes, you should know something. We take our vetting process seriously. We look at character, integrity, how people handle pressure and family obligations. If Patrick is doing what you say he's doing, it won't help his case. It'll destroy it." I nodded. Left. Walked back through the building, through the lobby, across the parking lot. Got in my car and drove away. I'd just done exactly what everyone told me not to do. Made contact, created confrontation, potentially damaged my own case by appearing aggressive or unstable. Thursday morning came too fast and too slow. I was awake at 5, showered, dressed in the only suit I owned, the one I'd worn to my mother's funeral 3 years ago. Ellen wore a dress Beth had lent her. Simple, respectable, the kind of thing you wear when you need to look stable. Beth made breakfast. Eggs, toast, coffee. None of us ate much. Jamie pushed his food around his plate. "Am I going?" he asked. "You're coming with us," Ellen said. "But you'll wait outside unless they need you to testify." "What if they do need me?" "Then you tell the truth. Exactly what happened. Exactly what you heard. Dad's going to be there." "I know. He's going to be mad at me. Probably. Is that okay?" Ellen reached across the table, took his hand. "Jamie, sometimes we have to do hard things. Sometimes we have to tell the truth even when it hurts someone we love. And that's okay. That's not being disloyal. That's being brave. I don't feel brave. Nobody feels brave when they're doing brave things. They just do them anyway." We left at 9, drove to the courthouse, parked in a public lot 3 blocks away, walked through cold morning air that felt like it was pressing down on us. The courthouse was old stone, steps leading up to heavy doors. Inside was marble floors and high ceilings and the echo of footsteps, people in suits, people in handcuffs, people crying, people arguing, all of human misery compressed into hallways and courtrooms. David was waiting outside courtroom 4. He looked rested, professional, ready. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "Fine." "Nervous?" "No." "Good. Because in about 5 minutes, you're going to walk into that courtroom and see Patrick and Jennifer and their lawyer. And you're going to feel a lot of things. Anger, betrayal, the urge to confront them. Don't. Just walk past them. Sit down. Look straight ahead." "I know." "Do you?" "Because, Frank, this is the moment where people break. This is where they lose their composure. This is where they lose their case. I won't break." "Okay. Then let's go." He opened the courtroom door. We walked in. The room was smaller than I expected. Rows of benches like a church. A judge's bench at the front. Flags in the corners. Everything formal and sterile and designed to strip away personality. Patrick and Jennifer were already there. Front row on the left side. Patrick wore a navy suit. Jennifer wore a cream-colored dress. They looked good. Composed, respectable, exactly like concerned family members. Patrick glanced back when we entered. His face was neutral. Careful. I couldn't read anything in it. Jennifer didn't turn around. We sat on the right side, front row, David next to me, Ellen next to David. Jamie stayed outside with Beth, who'd insisted on coming. The bailiff entered. "All rise." We stood. The judge entered. Woman, mid-60s, gray hair pulled back, reading glasses on a chain, face that gave away nothing. "Be seated." We sat. The judge looked at her papers. "Case number 2025 CV0847. Patrick Hayes versus Frank Hayes and Ellen Hayes. Petition for emergency guardianship." She looked up. "Counselors, are you ready to proceed?" "Yes, Your Honor." That was Hendricks, mid-50s, silver hair, expensive suit, voice like honey. "Yes, Your Honor." David, clipped, professional. "Very well, Mr. Hendricks, this is your petition. Please proceed." Hendricks stood, approached the bench. Your Honor, this is a difficult case. My client, Patrick Hayes, is here today out of love and concern for his parents, Frank and Ellen Hayes. For months, he has watched them decline, has watched them struggle with basic maintenance of their home, has watched his father become increasingly confused, agitated, and potentially dangerous. He has tried to help, has offered support, has been rebuffed at every turn. And on New Year's Eve, the situation came to a head when Frank Hayes took his grandson from the family home in an agitated state, refused to return, and fled when police arrived to check on the situation. I sat perfectly still, didn't react, didn't move. Your Honor, Hendricks continued, we're not here to punish anyone. We're here to help, to ensure that Frank and Ellen Hayes receive the care and support they need, to protect them from themselves and to protect their grandson from potential harm. We ask the court to grant emergency guardianship to Patrick Hayes so that he can make decisions in his parents' best interests. He sat down. The judge looked at David. Response? David stood. Your Honor, this is not a case about care or concern. This is a case about control and convenience. Patrick Hayes is not a devoted son. He's an ambitious employee seeking a promotion that requires him to demonstrate family stability. And the easiest way to do that is to have his elderly parents declared incompetent and take control of their assets. Frank and Ellen Hayes are not confused. They're not dangerous. They're not declining. They're perfectly capable of managing their own affairs. And we will prove that today through medical evidence, financial records, witness testimony, and the testimony of the Hayeses themselves. He sat down. The judge made a note. Mr. Hendricks, call your first witness. The petitioner calls Patrick Hayes. Patrick stood, walked to the witness stand, swore to tell the truth. Sat down. Hendricks approached. Patrick, can you tell the court about your relationship with your parents? I love them, Patrick said. His voice was quiet, sincere. They raised me, they supported me, they've always been there for me, and now I want to be there for them. When did you first become concerned about their well-being? About 6 months ago, I noticed Dad was getting forgetful, repeating himself, losing track of conversations, and their house, it was starting to fall apart. The roof was leaking, the furnace wasn't working properly. But when I offered to help, to get things fixed, he refused. He said he could handle it, but he couldn't. Did his behavior escalate? Yes. He became more aggressive, more defensive. He started making accusations, saying I was trying to control him, saying I wanted his money. None of it was true. I just wanted to help. Tell the court about New Year's Eve. Patrick's voice caught. Actual emotion. Actual tears in his eyes. We invited them to dinner. We wanted to spend the holiday together. But Dad was agitated from the moment he arrived, making comments, glaring at me. I took a work call, and when I came back, he was leaving, taking Jamie with him. I tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen. He just left. And when the police arrived to do a welfare check, he'd already gone. Were you concerned for Jamie's safety? Yes. Dad's behavior was erratic. I didn't know what he might do. Thank you, Patrick. No further questions. David stood, approached the witness stand. Patrick, you testified that your father has become forgetful and confused in the past 6 months. Has he missed any important appointments or obligations during that time? I don't know. You don't know? But you're claiming he's incompetent to manage his own affairs? He seems confused sometimes. Can you give a specific example? Patrick hesitated. He repeats himself. What does he repeat? Stories, things from the past. Does everyone your father's age repeat stories sometimes? I suppose. So that's not evidence of dementia or incompetency, is it? I'm not a doctor. No, you're not. But you've filed a petition claiming your father needs emergency guardianship. That's a serious action. Let's talk about the house. You claim it's falling apart. When's the last time you actually inspected the house? Went inside? Looked at the systems? I don't remember exactly. Was it 6 months ago? A year ago? I visit regularly. That's not what I asked. When did you last conduct an actual inspection of the property? I don't know. So you don't actually know the current condition of the house? I know what I've seen from the outside. From the outside? I see. Patrick, let's talk about your job. You work at Baxter Industrial Solutions, correct? Yes. And you're currently enrolled in their executive leadership training program? Patrick's face changed. Just slightly. Yes? That's a competitive program, isn't it? Yes. Reserved for employees being considered for executive positions? Yes. And part of the vetting process for those positions includes evaluation of your personal life, doesn't it? Your family stability? That's standard. Just answer the question. Yes or no? Yes. So having your elderly parents declared incompetent and under your guardianship would demonstrate that you're responsible, that you're handling your family obligations, that you're executive material, wouldn't it? That's not why. Yes or no, Patrick? It's not that simple. It's very simple. You want a promotion. You need to look good. And the easiest way to look good is to take control of your parents' lives. Isn't that true? No. Then why file for emergency guardianship on December 31st? Why not wait? Why not try to work things out? Why not get a proper medical evaluation first? Because I was concerned. You were concerned about your timeline. You were concerned about the promotion. You were concerned about yourself, not your parents. That's not true. No further questions. David sat down. Patrick left the witness stand. His face was red. His composure was cracked. He didn't look like a concerned son anymore. He looked like what he was, a man who'd been caught. The judge made notes. Mr. Hendricks, next witness. The petitioner calls Jennifer Hayes. Jennifer stood, walked to the stand, swore in, sat down with perfect posture. Hendricks approached. Jennifer, how long have you been married to Patrick? 12 years. And in that time, have you observed Frank and Ellen Hayes regularly? Yes, we see them several times a month. Have you noticed changes in their behavior? Yes, especially Frank. He's become more withdrawn, more defensive, less engaged with Jamie. Can you describe the evening of December 31st? We invited them to dinner. Patrick was on the phone briefly, and when he came back, Frank was leaving, taking Jamie. He looked angry, unstable. I was frightened. Thank you. No further questions. David stood. Oh, Jennifer, you testified that Frank looked unstable. Did he threaten anyone? No, but did he raise his voice? Not exactly. Did he make any aggressive moves? No. So he didn't actually do anything unstable. He just left. With Jamie. Jamie went with him voluntarily, didn't he? I don't know. You were there. Did Frank drag Jamie out of the house? No. Did Jamie protest or cry out? No. So a grandfather left a dinner with his grandson. That's what happened. It was more than that. Was it? Or are you interpreting it that way because it fits the narrative you and Patrick have constructed? I don't know what you mean. I think you do. No further questions. Jennifer left the stand. She looked less composed than when she'd arrived. Good. The judge looked at the clock. We'll take a 15-minute recess. Court will reconvene at 11 o'clock. We stood, filed out. In the hallway, Beth had Jamie sitting on a bench. He looked up when we emerged. How's it going? Beth asked quietly. Good, David said. We're in good shape. Do I have to testify? Jamie asked. Not yet. Maybe not at all. Relief flooded the kid's face. Ellen was shaking. I put my arm around her. You okay? I just listened to our son lie about us under oath, in front of a judge, and I couldn't say anything. I know? How are you so calm? I'm not calm, I'm furious, but I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of seeing it. She nodded, took a breath. Okay, let's finish this. We went back in, sat down, waited. The judge returned. Mr. Hayes, it's your petition to defend against. Call your first witness. David stood. The defense calls Dr. Robert Chen. My doctor entered, took the stand, swore in. David approached. Dr. Chen, how long have you been Frank Hayes' physician? 15 years. And in that time, have you seen any evidence of cognitive decline or dementia? None. I conducted a full evaluation earlier this week. Frank's cognitive function is completely normal, actually above average for his age. Could you elaborate? He scored well on all memory tests. His reasoning is clear. His judgment is sound. There is no medical evidence of incompetency. Thank you. No further questions. Hendricks stood. Dr. Chen, can people with early dementia seem normal during a clinical evaluation? Sometimes, but Frank shows no signs. Just answer the question. Yes or no? Yes. So it's possible he could be declining in ways you haven't detected. Anything's possible, but thank you. Dr. Chen left. David called Ellen's doctor next. Same testimony, same results. No evidence of decline or incompetency. Then David called our neighbors. 3 of them testified. All said the same thing. We were competent, independent. Our house was well maintained. We were good neighbors. By noon, our case was solid. We had medical evidence, character witnesses, proof of financial responsibility, everything we needed. Your Honor, David said. The defense rests. The judge nodded. Closing statements? Mr. Hendricks? Hendricks stood. Your Honor, the evidence is clear. Frank Hayes may seem competent in controlled settings. But in real life, in his home, in his interactions with family, he's struggling. He's defensive. He's stubborn. He won't accept help. And that puts him and others at risk. We ask the court to grant guardianship so that Patrick Hayes can ensure his parents receive the care they need. He sat. David stood. Your Honor, this case isn't about care. It's about control. Patrick Hayes wants his parents' assets. He wants to demonstrate to his employer that he's handling his family responsibilities, and the easiest way to do that is to have them declared incompetent. But the evidence shows they're not. Medical evaluations, financial records, witness testimony. Frank and Ellen Hayes are fully capable of managing their own lives, and this court should reject this transparent attempt to take that away from them. He sat. The judge was quiet for a long moment, made notes, then looked up. I've reviewed the evidence. I've heard the testimony, and I'm ready to rule. My heart stopped. The petition for emergency guardianship is denied. Ellen gasped, grabbed my hand. The evidence does not support a finding of incompetency, the judge continued.